What's up, guys? It's your friendly neighborhood VenomousStare, here to talk about StarCraft 2 maps. So whenever you first start playing StarCraft 2, you don't really know what makes a good map, or even really what's standard in maps, what's abnormal. So I'm just going to talk about the current pool and state a lot of general information and history that new players might not know, and then at the end we'll talk about vetoes for each race. So the first three maps, Dust Towers, Orbital Shipyard, and Prion Terraces, are what I would consider normal macro maps. And what that means is your natural expansion is easy to take, and in the case of Dusk Towers and Orbital Shipyard, the natural is exceptionally easy to take because it's a pocket base, which is abnormal. However, in this pool, there's two maps like that, which is the first time it's ever been like that. Usually, the pocket natural was like a one map in the pool type thing, and it was considered abnormal. Ultrazine Stronghold was like that in the past, and Jungle Basin was like that in the past. And both of those maps had other factors that were very abnormal to complement the fact that there was an inside base. Stronghold was the biggest map ever, and Jungle Basin was one of the most compact. So, Dust Towers, Orbital Shipyard, and Terraces I would leave open always, and when I say leave open, I mean do not veto. These are the three most straight up macro maps, and I think that if you want to play straight up, if you want to learn the game, you should keep these unvetoed. Now, Prion Terraces used to be really Zerg favored, but they made the natural a gold base, which the way it used to be was Zerg would just double expand to gold bases that Terran and Protoss couldn't take, and it was terrible, but different now. Orena is a very bizarre map. It's very reminiscent of Scrap Station, which was a map back in 2011 that received a lot of play. There's a gold base at the very bottom that nobody ever takes, and in Scrap Station it was the norm for Zerg to take their natural and then make their third base at the gold. I kind of thought this is how Orena would play out, but the third base is too easy to take. People just play it like a normal map. Now this one is abnormal. It has this little choke point right here. Basically, that's a very short rush distance by ground. So if your opponent does like a rush or a cheese, it will hit you significantly faster than what you're used to. There's also a very short rush by air distance, which means that drop play is very strong. Air play in general is very strong. So if you're new, this map's kind of tricky. I would consider vetoing this one. This map is really fucking annoying against Zerg if you try to fast expand. The wall is very wide and the rush distance is very short, so I really dislike it because of that. But once you get into a macro game, it's one of my favorite maps. Central Protocol. This map has a very difficult third base to take if you're not Zerg. I would recommend vetoing this one if you're Terran or Protoss. If you make it into the mid game with the lead, oftentimes you can just split the map, and if you harass enough, the openness of the map won't really hurt you that much, but it's very tricky. You have to be pretty good to play styles like that, and the person you're playing against has to, you have to be able to tax your opponent's multitask enough to prevent them from attacking you, because it's a very bad defender's map against Zerg. So I would recommend vetoing this one if you're Terran or Protoss versus Zerg. Now the reason I talk about the versus Zerg matchup in all contexts is because Zerg, I think, is the most map dependent race. Speedlings obviously are a big problem whenever you're natural, and third are very hard to take. So it's not that I don't care about TVP or TVT or PvP, but the maps just do not matter. Hey, calm down. The maps just do not matter as much in those matchups. So Central Protocol, the natural is also a bitch to take, so this one has my seal of approval to be vetoed. But if you're Zerg, you should play this map because it's good for Zerg. Lyric Crest, excuse me, or Lyrilac, whatever. I hate this map. It's really imbalanced for Zerg. It's in favor of Zerg. It's good for Zerg, just to be clear. If you're Terran, it's hard to take your natural. If you're Protoss, it's hard to take your natural. But if the game gets into the mid game, if you get past that obnoxious point that nobody likes to play, where the Zerg has so much pressure on you, it's very unpleasant because I find that the rush distance is so short. It's just a mess. This map kind of reminds me of a 2010 map where the rush distance is so small where you can't adequately prepare to do anything, even take your natural. I really don't like this map at all. I would recommend vetoing this for any race. But if you're a Zerg, you should consider playing this one because it's good for Zerg. And Ruins of Saris, absolutely god-awful. This is that one map in the pool that I think everybody hates. I'm not a fan of it. For some reason, this map was in the beta and was terrible, and they kept it. The natural is fucking huge. I don't like the tile set. I don't like the obnoxious amount of airspace. I don't like all the hills because it makes it hard to spread creep. This map is a nightmare for any race. I don't like to play it. There's towers in idiotic locations. It's a piece of shit and I don't like it. So in review, if you want my vetoes, I would probably veto these 3 maps. And if you're Zerg and don't mind playing ZVZ, probably... Here's the thing. This pool is so Zerg favored where whenever I play Zerg, I just veto this one map. But if you don't want to play ZVZ, veto these 2 because your Terran and Protoss opponents will veto these. So if you also have them vetoed, you'll play a bunch of games on these 2 maps, Orbital Shipyard and Dust Towers, which are considered the macro maps and are the most common ones to play. I'm really kind of tired of playing these. I wish Blizzard would have removed them because they're just so generic, and I feel like you can only play so many games on maps like these before they get old. We saw Blizzard did this with Belshir Vestige. It stayed in the pool way too long, and I think by the time that this map is finally dead and gone, people will be thanking God that it's gone. Like, oh, it's finally gone. So yeah, that's my map review video. Olrain is really tricky. There's a lot of good air strategies on this map, but Cheese is also very good. Very bizarre, but not necessarily imbalanced, whereas I would argue that like these 2 maps are not that balanced. So if you enjoyed it, leave me a comment, subscribe, tell me what maps you veto, and what race do you play. Follow me on Twitter too.